Pray for bad news in buckets. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. I've gone through quite an interesting scenario. Let me make sure this is on right. Quite an interesting scenario over the past 48 hours or so. And it's just kind of some not horrible, tragic news, but bad news, uncomfortable news, one right after another in a very short period of time. And it gave me time to reflect on we all have bad news, right? I mean, honestly, if I were to think about what bad news is, I don't really think bad news exists. I think it's completely a subjective thing. And I think that if you're really in the right frame of mind, you should never be able to see any bad news. Not that you're seeing all good news, but you can see where things are going to turn up in a good way if you have the right frame of mind. But that's not very helpful when you're going through it, right? I mean, we all have stuff, and even the best case scenario, you're going to have tragedy in your life, just horrific tragedy, bad things happening to good people, or a situation where you just lose somebody close, a spouse, a child, a close friend, out of nowhere, and sometimes in the most horrific, tragic way possible. These things happen. You can't do anything about them. Do I think that they're actually bad news in an objective way? No, they're not bad news. We're all gonna die, and chances are it's not gonna be pleasant. I mean, you'll look at all the different ways people die. I mean, there's a whole lot of unpleasant ways to go. So, I mean, it kind of comes with the territory, but you can't explain that to yourself when you're going through it. When something doesn't feel good, it's bad. That's what we call bad news. So let's look at that. If you're going to get bad news anyways, and there's a degree to how bad it is, or how traumatic it could be, or how horrifying it might be. But if you got bad situations coming into your life that we can pretty much say it's bad, how would you like to receive them? I think the worst way of getting them, and I think we've all been through this at some point, and it's usually in our own perspective that makes things worse and worse and worse, but it's that slow drip over months and years of bad news that just doesn't seem to stop. It's just you can't get a break, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes. That's the most torturing thing in the world. And honestly, I think a lot of it is self-inflicted. Not that I'm gonna sit here and tell you how to fix it. It's not important, but I've found that the better I get at handling things, the better bad news comes to me. I like getting bad news in buckets. I like it all at once. I want you to rip the Band-Aid off, I want it all at the same time, because there's a point at which you're overwhelmed and it's like, I can't take anymore. And anything beyond that, anything you have on top of that, you handle really well, because it's just like, well, okay, there's another one, and it just goes and goes and goes. If you're truly overwhelmed, it's like, okay, well, bring it on. What else we got? And you kind of have to get that attitude eventually, but it helps when you get it all at once. When you just, and that's how it's been. That's how it's been the last, I say 48 hours. It's been less than that. It's been less than a day, and no, I mean, it's been a little bit more than a day. It's been less than 2 days, and it's just been piling up. Nothing tragic, nothing horrific. It was just stuff that you rather not have to go through. But if you can have it all at once, that's a great way of having it. So keep your eyes open for bad news in buckets. It's a blessing in disguise, I think. At least it has been in my life. Silly, weird thought, I know. That's all I got for you tonight, though. I've got my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. I promote it on every time. Well, I'll be promoting other things as the as the new year progresses. Got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming up. But right now, check out my book. If you haven't read it yet, go get yourself a free copy. AmazonProofBook.com. AmazonProofBook.com. It's short, it's easy, and it's got other things that you can go to, other websites, other books that you can read, other people you can look into. It's a good starting point for how to build a really solid competition-proof strategy in your business. AmazonProofBook.com. That's all I got for tonight. You have a good one. Get out there and let the magic happen.